Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Miss Earthlight Middle School Science, and my name is Joanna Earthlight. And today we will be talking about chemical properties of matter. Now, there are some essential questions that we have to discuss while we go through the lessons, and I want you to look carefully at how to answer these questions as we move through the lesson. Number one question, what is chemical property? So you have to know what is a chemical property. You have to know how to define the chemical property called reactivity. You need to know what is flammability and to identify some examples of flammable matter. Now let's get to it. Okay, if you look at this picture, you're looking at two different colors. On our right here, we're seeing a link, a metal link. It's made of iron, and the iron is really shiny, and we could describe the physical properties as being shiny, hard, and metallic like that, right? On the left, you notice that this part of the iron is really brown. Do you think that you could get this brown to change back to this luster? I think not. And the reason is when it's changed, it changed into an entire new substance. This new substance that we're looking at on the left now is called rust. So the iron fence here has rusted, and now this is how it looks. Right? So what is chemical property, and how does this relate to chemical property? Well, a chemical property is a property that can be measured. So you can measure it and you can observe it, right? But when matter undergoes a change, so matter will change, and in this picture we see how the iron has changed, and it has changed into an entirely different kind of matter. So it's no longer iron now on the outer sections here. Now it is rust. So let's go through that again. So chemical properties are properties that can be measured or observed only when matter undergoes a change to become an entirely different kind of matter. So in essence, we see that this is one example here in the picture of chemical property, and it's called rusting. So the moisture in the air, the oxygen in the air, they will work on this shiny metal and they will cause it to rust. And the rust here is caused by oxidation, and it's an entirely new substance that's formed. So I want you to remember that the only time you could observe a chemical property is if a new substance is formed, right? And this new substance now has a new identity. So the identity of this old substance or the thing that was there before, it's now changes to a new substance. Another example of chemical property of matter is reactivity. And when we hear the word reactivity, we think about how chemicals react with each other, right? So reactivity is the ability of matter to combine chemically with other substance. So one substance combined with another substance. And we're going to look at an example here. In the glass, we have water, and it's combined with this pill. This is an Alka-Seltzer Plus tablet. And we put it in the water, and what happens? If you're looking closely, you will see the tiny bubbles that are being created in the glass because of this reaction, right? And these tiny bubbles are indicating that reactivity is taking place. Also, the bubbles are showing that it's changing to carbon dioxide. right? Which is an entirely new substance. So the chemicals in the pill right here is now being changed to carbon dioxide because it is reacting with the water. And that's the example reactivity, right? Now, another example is flammability. And when we hear the word flammability, or some people will say flammability or flammable, it's basically the ability of matter to burn. So, when a substance is able to burn, any substance, once it is able to burn, we would say that substance is flammable or flammable, right? If we look at this wood right here, we could see it burning. And we know how a wood would be brown and usually it's hard. And now if you look at it's creating a new substance, this dark ash right here. And it's the same thing with the paper over here. The paper was white before and now it has this dark ash. So we could see that the ash is an entirely new substance. It's not the same as what the paper looks like before, and it's the ash for this one is not the same as what the wood had looked like before. So remember guys, in a chemical property, the substance is is will change into an entirely new substance, right? So the wood turns to ash and the paper turns to ash. And just ask yourself a couple questions. How can you tell that the wood ash are a different substance from the wood? Right? Ashes have different properties than wood. For example, the ashes are gray and powdery, whereas the wood is brown and hard. And what are some other substances, guys, that have the property of flammability? So substances such as fuels, they have the property of flammability. And they could include fossil fuels such as coal, natural gas, petroleum. All those are flammable. And remember we said that flammable is when something is able to burn, right? And we also have other fuels made from petroleum, such as gasoline and kerosene. And we think about this when we see a person cooking on a gas stove, right? So the gas that's coming out of that stove is flammable. That's why they're able to use it to cook with, right? Some other substances that are flammable, substances made of wood, such as paper and cardboard, are all flammable substances. All right, so guys, we're just going to review the questions that we started out with, those essential questions, just to see if we remember what we talked about, right? So let's get to that. What is a chemical property? Right, so basically we know that chemical properties are properties that can be measured or observed only when matter undergoes a change to become an entirely different kind of matter. So that's the only time you'll get a chemical property, when it changed to a different kind of matter, right? And the example of reactivity is basically the ability for one type of substance to combine chemically with another type of substance, such as in the pill that we looked at, where the pill changed to carbon dioxide because it reacted with the water, right? And number 3 question, we have flammability. And we said the flammability of something is when it's able to be burned, right? So flammability is the ability of the matter or the substance to be burned. Very good. And the last question we wanted to do is to identify some examples of flammability, right? And we talked about the fossil fuels such as the coal, the natural gas, and the petroleum. We also talk about some fuels that are made from petroleum, such as the gasoline and the kerosene oil. And we also talked about other substances such as wood and paper and cardboard. All those substances are examples of flammable matter. So, guys, that's it for today. Thank you for watching my video. Please like, comment, ask me any questions that you want, share my videos if it will help someone, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and have a great day.